Today the question is whether 28mm or 35mm suits you better for street photography. To answer this question, I walked through Berlin with my Fuji XT4 with the Voigtländer 80mm and the Fuji X100V with the 35mm. I will talk about advantages and disadvantages of each lens and each focal length. I am mainly walking around in the touristy areas of Berlin as I am carrying 2 cameras and a GoPro. In these areas I can be sure people will see me as a moron tourist from crazy land and not some dangerous creep. I'm using same settings for both cameras to give you an ideal comparison. And same camera position but different situations, as it's harder than expected to shoot with 2 cameras at the same time. So let's find out what's the best focal length for you, 28mm like Gary Winogrand or the Voigtländer, or 35mm like Joel Meyerowitz or Robert Dosneau, for example. So let's get started, and please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you want to see more videos like this. So what's important when it comes to 28mm? 28mm has a wider field of view. The 28mm lens offers a broad perspective that can include more of the scene in your frame. This is particularly useful in crowded streets or when you want to capture the interplay between subjects and their environment. It also gives you a more dramatic perspective, which is ideal for those lonely person in urban environment shots. You know, the ones who work extremely well on Instagram. A 28mm lens requires getting closer to your subjects to make them prominent in the frame, leading to more engaging and immersive shots. It can produce a sense of being part of the scene rather than just an observer. The wide field of view of the 28mm is excellent for environmental portraits, where the setting plays a critical role in telling the subject's story. So you can photograph individuals within the context of their environment, emphasizing their relationship with their surroundings, without needing to get too close. Look for moments where people's interactions with their environment create a narrative you can capture from a comfortable distance. Instead of closing the physical distance, use the 28mm lens to explore unique angles and perspectives that can make your images stand out. Shooting from above, below, or finding a vantage point that gives your photo a new dimension can be just as immersive as getting close. This approach allows you to capture the essence of street life while maintaining a respectful distance from your subjects. So now it's about 35mm street photography. Many photographers consider the 35mm lens to carry a natural field of view, closely resembling human sight. This balance makes it versatile for a wide range of street photography situations. The slightly tighter frame of the 35mm lens allows for more emphasis on the subject while still capturing enough environmental context to tell a story. To me, I think it strikes a good balance between character and setting. So being able to stand a bit further back compared to using a 28, photographers may find the 35 less intrusive, making it easier to capture candid moments without altering the scene significantly. The 35mm lens encourages careful composition and framing. Its field of view helps reduce clutter, focusing more on the subject and leading to potentially clearer, more compelling compositions. So both focal lengths benefit from zone focusing, where you preset your focus distance based on your aperture and anticipated subject distance. This technique allows for quick shooting, crucial for capturing fleeting street scenes. By the way, my last video was about exactly this topic, so maybe it's interesting for you. So smaller apertures, which means higher f-stop numbers, increase depth of field, ensuring more of your scene in focus, which is useful in dynamic street environments. Both 28 and 35 perform well with apertures like f8 or f11 for street photography. So with a 28, understanding scale and using proximity effectively can lead to dramatic compositions. For 35 users, recognizing how subjects relate to their environment is key to making compelling images. To me, 35mm is still my favorite since composing and finding the right frame is easier, but since I have this Voigtländer lens here, I am getting more and more into 28. You simply get more dramatic perspectives, which are cool sometimes. If you don't have a prime lens with 28 or 35mm, I recommend that you use your zoom lens as a prime. So walk around with your zoom lens for one day set to 28, on the next day to 35 and explore what fits and feels best for you. This way you spend your hard-earned money on the right prime. So, do you already know which one you prefer, 28 or 35? Curious for your comments? See you in the next video.